This is Ram's new parts bin truck. And I mean that in a good way because you get a really nice exterior with a work truck interior. So this is what I dub the new middle class truck. And it's a really nice package and I can't wait to show you guys around it. I borrowed it from Larry H. Miller, Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram here in Sandy, Utah. This truck is available for sale. Let's go ahead and check out the window sticker so you guys see the options and features on this build. At the very top, it's a description. Base price comes in at $52,230. Now, here's a short listing of the standard features. Be sure to pause to see more. And then starting off the options is that Granite Crystal for $295. That customer preferred package is basically the Warlock package there. So you see all the features that come a part of it. Cold weather group is $245. Fifth wheel prep package is there, bed convenience, tradesman level 1, and then you have the high output Cummins with the auxiliary switches. Destination comes in at $2195 for a total price of $74,285. If I were buying this Warlock, I would skip the diesel. Once you get over $70,000, you're pretty much in Rebel territory, and you can get a pretty base model Rebel for what you're seeing here, and you get just a little bit more for the money, in my opinion. Now, obviously, when I dub this the middle class truck, the middle class likes the idea of feeling like they've made it, but they haven't quite made it yet, right? So you get a really nice exterior truck. You get LED headlights, you get the matted front bumpers that give you that rugged off-road look, you get the 20-inch wheels with the off-road tires, and it looks like a really nice pickup until you open the door and you'll see that it actually has the tradesman interior, and I mean the entire tradesman interior. You know why? Because it's a stinking tradesman. That's why. It's a tradesman truck. But apart from that, Ford pretty much has been doing this for a long time with the STX, and they really stepped up their game for 2023. And then GM has been doing it since 2020-21 with their custom trim for the HD segment. So it's all about giving people a nice appearance without breaking the bank. And I like that they do that because this truck looks really nice, has that really aggressive off-road look. And as I said, you have the premium lighting. And that includes the fog lights, front parking sensors, adaptive cruise control. You cannot get 360 camera, however, for this truck. Although you can with the STX, just saying. Now here's a quick peek at that solid front axle. Four-wheel drive comes standard on the Warlock 2. You guys see that plastic liner and these super aggressive tires, which are the Goodyear Wrangler Duratrax LT 285 60/20, which is 33.5 inches tall, 11.2 inches wide too, by the way. Now, 20-inch wheel has a great look to it, and these are made in USA too, by the way. I'm talking about the tires. Bilstein shocks, front and center, and as you scoot back, this truck has a really nice look to it, guys. I mean, I have to admit, if you skip the diesel, you can have this truck for under $65,000 well equipped before discounts. All the blackout is still there. No Sport Performance hood, however, but that's an option on the Rebel too. You guys see the lights here are on, and I have the turn signal. Also, you have a light here. Top and bottom mirrors are heated and power. You have those running boards. 6-foot 4-inch bed. You can see that Warlock badge right there. I actually don't mind it too. I probably would keep it there because you can barely see it. 31-gallon fuel tank, 7.5-gallon DEF. What do you guys think about the fender flares? Pretty much the same thing you see on the Power Wagon and Rebel. More Bilstein shocks. You have the multi-link coiled suspension out back. That liner can be had as a standalone if you just want to buy the truck with no options too. There is a bed step available, incandescent tail lights, more blackout. Parking sensors are in a nice spot down below. Class 5 hitch, 4 and 7-pin, LED lights, more LED lights here that got turned off somehow. There we go. Let's see if they came back on. Right there. This tailgate is not assisted. You guys see the LED lights here, and then above You have incandescent bulbs. Let's go ahead and step in. I like the idea of that step because getting back here is not easy. Now, I do have a promo code down below for some tie downs here. Be sure to check it out through Juggernaut. It's basically a strap solution that comes in the bed. It looks pretty much factory, and I like that setup a lot better than what you get here. Here's that fifth wheel prep package with that puck system. And I like that they give you all the power plugs on the side here. Defrost, power glass. No clearance lights. Now just below, you guys see there, they just give you a donut style for your spare. 342 rear with a, is it an anti-spin or electronic locker? Guess what? Anti-spin. I would definitely get the Rebel if I were looking to get a true off-road truck. I mean, the anti-spin is fine, but yeah, and you have an open diff up front with this one too. This Cummins costs $13,000, and because this is a budget-friendly truck, once you get to that 75 grand range, you might as well go ahead and just get the Rebel. That's why personally I would build this truck without this configuration. I mean, granted, unless you're towing heavy, but the reality is you're still going to be limited on the payload. Now this truck does have really good payload, which I'll show you here in a second, but this Cummins does put out 430 horsepower, 1,075 pound-feet of torque. I had a brain fart there for a second, and they did a lot of updates to it. You guys see serviceability is a lot better, so you have your oil filter right there. Also dual fuel filters are right there. Hopefully you guys can see that. Maybe you can't, it's kind of hard. You have a performance intake manifold, no more grid heater, so now you have glow plugs. Also cast iron block. They got rid of the CGI, which is a compacted graphite iron block. You can even see the top of the engine looks slightly different because they did revise the EGR system on this truck as well. Now this truck, having a 342, now has an 8-speed transmission, so it has the deepest gears in the segment, but they're only utilizing 8 gears, which is probably better in the long run. And I feel like this truck just feels a lot more peppier off the line. So 10W30 oil, 5W40 for that colder climate. Let's go and check out the interior. Here's where the tradesman pretty much pops up at on this truck. You can see right here, all hard plastics on the door. You have auto up and down for the front windows, however. And you have all these controls. As I said, you can power that convex. It's heated. You can also put the mirrors in tow mode really easily. And something that's pretty cool about getting this Warlock and Tradesman is you can get carpet delete, and you have the option to get vinyl seats. So just keep that in mind if you are going back and forth between the Rebel and the Tradesman. Now, no power seats, and you cannot even raise it up and down, which is a big issue for me. I would like for them to add that on. But they have the best interior design. Like, this looks really nice. I feel like it'll wear better. It's a little bit darker, so if you're using this truck for work, it doesn't look grimy over the time. And you guys see there, they give you a black headliner. Ford won't do that. They'll give you that lighter color roof, lighter color interior, which doesn't make sense. Now there's other packages that you can get which upgrades that little screen to the 7-inch cluster, and I recommend that. And you can get a leather wrap steering wheel too as an option on this truck. Let's check out the passenger side. Love the graphics on these seats too. Open storage, all hard plastics, but they still give you that 12-volt power with storage. And check this out, I saw this earlier today. If you are looking to use this truck for a bed camper, this truck is rated to do so. So you have about 2,000 pounds of capacity. That's not the payload, so I'll show that to you guys here in a second. But if you are looking to use this truck for a bed camper, here's all the information. Be sure to pause, okay? I wish that more trucks had this paper in it, especially the dualies, but sometimes I get lucky, sometimes I don't. Now out back, here's the only downside to the Warlock. Obviously, it being a tradesman truck means you don't have a 60/40 bench back here, right? You don't have an armrest, and you don't have seat back pockets. So all this goes up as one thing. They do have cup holders, air vents right there. And on the roof you can hang some things, incandescent bulbs, but that's an easy fix. And you have grab handles in the rear as well. On the steering wheel, adaptive cruise control is right there, and then this is going to help control that little, is that a 3-inch screen? I definitely would prefer that 7-inch. So I would load up on the options and skip the diesel, guys. I'm telling you, that's the way to go for this truck, because you can have it pretty much around 65 grand, and then once you get it discounted, you can probably get it under $60,000. So it's been a long time since you can get a really nice truck like this. And this one has dual climate control. Now this 12-inch, as you saw, was an option, right? And this one should have the off-road pages too. Yep, off-road pages right here. Shows you the altitude. And this is how you know you don't have a locker out back too. Anti-spin. Here's some of your gauges. If you plan on towing, you can set that up through here. You have light check set up here, and right above here shows you the outside temperature. Shows you the time and the date and the day. And I like stuff like that. You know, more manufacturers need to do stuff like that. If you go down to comfort, no heated seats. You can also move things around on this lower section. You have these widgets too. You can do a custom one. You saw this truck had the auxiliary switches down below. Trailer brake, tow haul, dual stage exhaust brake. And I like that Ram gives you separate front and rear for parking sensors, because if you're towing a trailer, you can just keep off the rear and then keep on your front. That's really smart on Ram's part. I love that they do that. Downhill assist, and then you have that electronic 4-wheel drive system here. 4-wheel drive low and high. What else? This is an auto dimming mirror. How you would know is if you go to vehicle, if you go to controls, has the auto dimming mirror. So there's that. You only have the one camera out back, so this is not necessary here. But as I mentioned, you have incandescent bulbs. You have a place up here for your sunshades or glasses. You can slide that rear glass. No mirror on this side. However, you do get one on this side. You guys see that there's no lights though. As far as your USBs go, you have plenty of USBs, 115 volt power plug down there, a little bit of storage, and USB. This does go up for your 6 passenger, and there's no storage below this seat either, so there's that. So let's go ahead and check out the Payload, and that'll pretty much end this video. And I'll also show you guys the towing capacity as well. Starting off with the gross axle weight rating, is going to be 5,750 pounds. The gross axle weight rating in the rear is 6,000. Interesting. And gross vehicle weight rating is 11,040 pounds. 20 by 8 wide wheels. And then all-in payload capacity is a shocking 3,015 pounds for a diesel. That's really, really good. Tire pressure is 70 out back. 65. So you can probably run these tires around 60 psi before it would trigger a low tire pressure warning, basically. So that's pretty cool. I hope you guys liked the video. This is a nice truck. I think that for the way that the 3/4 ton trucks ride, it's the way to go for sure if you're on a budget and you want a nice pickup truck. But be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Make sure the bell notifications are on. See you guys soon.